All right, what do you do if you're the Pelicans? Are they floating trade rumors here? Who is giving the information to Shams or Brian Windhorst and saying, are they considering this? And here we are leading up to the draft next week. Mm-hmm. And then I'm wondering, could I get the number 3 pick from the Portland Trailblazers? Send Zion there. Would that accomplish a couple things? That Portland gets another player and Dame has another player, and then the Pelicans can get out from underneath this contract with Zion Williamson. And here's the thing. You want to be able to trade him when it's going to be, not pennies on the dollar, but at least 75 cents on the dollar. I don't know who would want Zion now. I'm guessing people would be like, all right, let me kick the tires on this and just see. He's one of those guys where you look at the numbers and you go, wow, when he plays. Well, I don't want to get a guy where you go, when he plays. I like a guy who he does play. And these are the numbers. Now, can I get him on the cheap? Let's say I send Zion. Well, you got to match up numbers with salary. So if you're going to get the number 3 pick, what else is involved in this if you're the Pelicans? If I could restart a rookie clock with somebody like Scoot Henderson, who is projected to be a great player, then I would do that. I just don't know what you're going to get from Zion Williamson. And is Zion, the older he gets, he's not going to be slimming down. He doesn't feel like he has the discipline, wherewithal, chronic injuries. That's going to follow him. And when he first came into the NBA, I said his biggest opponent will be his body. And that is going to be the case here. But you go back to that draft. All of a sudden, R.J. Barrett looks pretty good. I got Ja Morant. I got Zion. Ja Morant will come back. Ja Morant's problems aren't on the floor. He's a great player. It's off the floor. Zion, it feels like it's both. But off the floor is leading to his inability to play. He's not in shape. The mystery of when he's doing, 360s in warm-up, but then not playing in a game. He's not cleared. In 4 years, all right, I'm going to give you an over-under here. In 4 years, Zion Williamson, I'm going to put the over-under at 120. 120 games, 4 years, Zion Williamson. Okay? Fritzy?
I'm going to say over.
Okay, over 120.
Yes.
Seton O'Connor, Zion Williamson, over under 120 games in his career.
In 4 years.
Yep.
I'm going to say just under.
Okay. Marvin?
Under.
Yeah. It's under. What is he?
How many?
Is he like 110?
114 games
114 games.
out of a possible 328.
Okay. That's not a good percentage.
34%.
Yeah. But when he plays...
He shoots 60%.
Yeah. Yeah.
He plays 34%.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Feels like you could already see him in a Knicks uniform, though, don't you?
Oh, no. I think a little later on. Yeah. Where he's making 50 and he's like 32 years of age. Yes, Marv.
Yeah, he's a spot-up shooter by this point.
He's not exactly Larry Johnson.
Throw up the Z.
Yeah. Yes.
He's clearly a fella who's having a tough time keeping himself fit, right? Not just like injury-wise, but the
his
things
personal
that
life
contribute to, it's just his physical nature, his body is not in elite athlete shape.
No.
Right? And it does feel like, too, the personal life stuff is the two things maybe go together, that maybe the house isn't completely in order, and the Pelicans are aware of that.
Oh, I think they have to be. And plus, do you love basketball? That's what I would want to know. I think he loves being a star. There are a lot of these athletes now who, I want to be a star. Well, do you want to be great?
And he's been a star for a long time.
Since he was 16. But he's got to be available. He was a social media star, one of the first NBA players who was a true social media star before we even saw him play. And then you go to Duke for 1 year, all of your games on national TV, and maybe it came too easy for him. But now is when you got to figure out that, do you want to be a great basketball player? Yes, Mark.
Does the business side and everything else take the love away?
Well, he's making a lot of money. Kobe made a lot of money, and that didn't stop him from wanting to be great. Joker makes a lot of money. Giannis makes a lot of money. That shouldn't be an excuse. It's, do you want to play? Do you want to be a leader? Do you want to be great? I mean, I don't know if he does. He might be like, man, I'm getting paid. I don't need to work. I can go through the motions the rest of this contract. And he won't last in New Orleans. He'll probably be on a couple of teams when it's all said and done. But I think that's where New Orleans has to take inventory and just say, hey, help us understand. Like, do you want to be great? Do you want to put in the time? Do you want to, lose some weight here? And if not, you don't want to be here, then, we'll send you some other place. And it's not personal. This is business here. And New Orleans has to make a business decision. But you're selling him low right now. Can you sell him high? And then if he comes back and then you go, man, he's playing great. Can we trade him? So that's the conundrum. Can we trade him and do we get pennies on the dollar? Or he's playing great. We can get more. Do we want to get more? Yes, Eaton.
But what is the likelihood that scenario plays out, where all of a sudden he comes back and, man, this dude is healthy and playing lights out? The likelihood of that happening is not no chance, low chance.
Yeah.
Low chance.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't, once again, like John Morant, I don't know who's in his ear. I don't know who's helping him. And they're young. They're 23 or 22 years of age. They got their money, they got their fame, and they are acting like it. They're acting like kids, immature. And that's tough to say, hey, let me grab you and save you from yourself. Yeah, Paul.
The general manager of the Pelicans is Trajan Langdon, played in the league, played for Duke. And I wonder if he's thinking also the opposite of this is, boy, if I trade Zion Williamson and he gets it together, I will be the guy who traded Zion Williamson. There's got to be that fear too. Like, what's your biggest fear? Sticking with him and having him as an anchor on this team, like an anchor in a bad way.
I feel like I know how this story is going to play out, and I wouldn't be concerned that I'm the guy who traded away Zion Williamson. I mean, he's a really talented player. People come out to see him. I just want somebody who really wants to play. They're hungry to be great. Like, I'm going to fight through this because I want to play. He doesn't strike me as I'm going to fight through this. You just sit there on the bench. When you're playing, 114 games in a 4-year career, I don't think it gets better. I mean, he might have decent numbers, but it eventually is going to catch up to him. He's not a great shooter. I mean, he's not a jump shooter. That body is big. If he continues to add weight, and he's so good at second chance points, really, really good at that. Are you going to be able to have that explosion? It's almost like I view Zion Williamson like I do a running back. He's got a shelf life here, it feels like, unless he takes control and really wants to be a great player and adapt his body to the NBA. In college, nobody could stop you. In the NBA, they can. Yeah, Paul.
I have a new poll for the rest of the hour. Which guy, if you were picking, betting, whatever, would you say it's going to be fine? Zion Williamson or John Morant? They both have different style of issues, but if you're saying one of these two, when we look back in 3 years, it's all going to be fine.
Can I take Darius Garland?
You could think about it if you want.
I would take John Morant. I think Ja wants to be a great player. I just think he also wants to be a gangster. I think he's very immature and has to understand the platform that he has been given and how to use that platform. But as far as on the floor, I mean, he plays. Yes, Eden.
So if you were going to bet on one to have a better career moving forward, you could have Ja Morant or Zion Williamson.
Yeah. I'm taking Ja.
You're taking Ja.
Yeah. With an asterisk that I might take R.J. Barrett or Darius Garland.
So you're a little gun shy.
Yeah.
Hey,
too soon.
You're better than that.
I'm not better than
You
that.
are better than
Whoa.
that.
I am not.
Wow.
Told you I was not better than
Yes, Todd.
Is it easy, I guess, is one of the questions we could ask here. Is it easy to work on someone's behavior as far as what they're doing socially and who they're hanging out with and have someone keeping an eye on them? Or maybe someone's eating habits and just refusing to get in proper shape?
Well, Zion's got some things going on. Feels like there's a few things going on. Not just being in shape, but he's got to fight that. He's got to work on that. That's going to be there the rest of his career, the rest of his life. Just how he's built. And if he wants to be in shape and understand that you're going to try to survive, 100 games, regular season, postseason, preseason, do you want to make that commitment? And, maybe he got his money. Like maybe he's not as motivated as you would think. Yeah, Paulie.
First of all, I'm not better than that. And secondly, who plays more games next year? There's a question.
Oh.
For whatever reason.
So if Josh sits down for 40,
that would be.
Does Zion play 41 games?
Someone's got to say it.
That is mean-spirited.
Thank you.
Well, let me wait until we find out how many games John's going to miss.
See, it's no fair then.
Oh, it's no fair. Yes, Todd.
I think that's a great poll question. I think we immediately go to that. Who plays more games next season? John Moretti. I think it's fabulous.
Oh, Todd likes it.
I do.
Uh-oh.
Is that bad?